What up, beautiful people? It's your boy Nate Jackson, comedian extraordinaire. This is another episode of Nate Jackson's OpinioNated. Here's what grinds my gears today. I don't like when you're talking to somebody and it is an argument. Let's just say you're talking to somebody and it's turning into an argument. Both of you are virtually saying the same thing. But here's what I don't like. I don't like the type of person that says, hey, don't interrupt me. But then they interrupt you a lot. And if you continue to talk to finish the point you were making when they jumped in to interrupt you, they say, you're talking over me. What? If I'm driving a boat and then you skirt your little ass, what's that shit called? A
jet ski?
You jump your jet ski out in front of my boat. And I slow down and you get your little jet ski out in front of me and then I'm like, I'm going to finish saying what I'm saying. It's so frustrating. I don't know I can't explain it. I wish I could like play back the conversation that I'm talking about. If you've ever been in this conversation, just me saying this, you're like, I know exactly what you mean, Nate. I can't stand it. I also don't like when people are in a conversation and they make their part a repeat of something they just said. I thought we were having a conversation that's moving linearly, chronologically in one direction. You sit up here repeating yourself while I'm saying different stuff. How can we grow? How can the conversation progress if I say, let's say I have three things I'd like to say. If I'm trying to say red is a cool color, broccoli is a cool vegetable, and the sky is blue, and I'm like, red is a cool color, you're like, but there's more colors than red. Yeah, there is more colors. Now, I'm not even saying what I'm saying. Yeah, there is more colors than red, but red's the color that I like. And you know what else? Broccoli, I ain't never seen no red broccoli. First of all, we're not talking about red no more. We're talking about broccoli. It's the second point that I was trying to. Can I just finish my thing? Red's a cool color. Broccoli's a cool vegetable, and sky is blue. Oh, see, you're just gonna mow over me? What about what I got to say? Hey, the sky is blue was the third thing that was the last thing I was saying. You most definitely have the floor. This one's huge. I don't even want to talk no more. What? The whole time you've been trying to get a word in edgewise in the wrong spot with no respect to what I'm saying, mowing over me, then when I say what I'm trying to say, you say I'm disrespecting you. Why can't we talk like debaters talk? We're like, you're not allowed to say nothing until the person's done. And if you want to address what they said during what they were saying, you get to say it in yours at the top of with some notes or something. Some people just need notes while they talk to me because I'm very intelligent. I'm a highly intelligent individual. I can have the hell out of a conversation. Not only that, by the time I'm talking to you, logically, I've already thought it out, like the Spider-Verse, the Marvel Universe, every linear line that could possibly be which way the conversation could go. I've already racked my brain around which directions it could go. Once we're talking and I identify, oh, we're on this storyline or we're on these four options, then we're talking to figure out which one of the four. It's rare that I'm speaking to someone in a heightened conversation and I can't grasp what they're trying to say. That it's going over my head, that I'm having an epiphany during them speaking. Most of my conversations that are heightened like that, I'm having to use a lot of patience because the person is passionate, but they ain't saying nothing that I don't already know. And that's a hard disposition to be in a conversation, but I'm giving you the respect to say this shit that I already know. To me, I done already thought about it. Got it. I would like to talk to somebody who thinks that same exact way. I've already considered what you're saying. And then somebody will turn around and be like, you don't listen. Listen. Not only have I listened, I have cognitively reasoned. I have logically cogitated all options that this may possibly be. I'm having a well-rounded conversation with you. I can't get out what I'm saying that is actually new developments and that will lead to epiphanies for you. I hate talking to people that while you're talking to them, all they're thinking about is the thing they're going to say next. That's not a legit conversation. You need to have a blank palette while I speak. So while I'm talking, what I'm saying is being laid down like brand new words on a blank page. You can assess what I just said. I don't even mind if somebody goes, hold on, let me process. And then speak. That's true listening. But thinking of your next talking point, and it's an extension of the last talking point you made, absolutely makes what I say in between those two things null. You can't have a good conversation like that. How many times have you had an argument like that where all the person is trying to do is get off this one particular thought over and over and over and over? It's like, you know what? I can't. I'm going to have to circle back around. And it really sucks when it's like a true homie or let's say it's a love interest. Oh, that's the worst. Because now it's not even about, it's about respect now. You don't respect me enough to listen to what I'm trying to say? You're that riled up and agitated to get this thought out that you got to dive all through? I hate that. I hate when people also are particular about the semantics or a particular word that you say when they know damn well what you're trying to say. And if you could say a whole paragraph and one word be off, and then they make everything about that one word that was off. And then they don't allow you to redefine what you were trying to say in the first place. And now you're not even talking about what was at stake in the first place. I hate that. I also don't like being listened to. I don't like not being listened to. Okay? Now, Keela was in that meeting. I was like, let's just call the person that set this calendar up online and let them fix it. She's like, I got it. But you don't got it. It still ain't fixed. Let Matthew do it. He's been doing it for a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? You coming back off a hot break. Last thing you did was eat my goddamn oxtails. The least you could do in a meeting is listen to me. Shit. I got the world's hardest headed assistant in the world. And if she was sitting right there, I would still say it. So that's how I know I'm solid while I say it. Okay? So when she gets here, I'll rehab the conversation. She can say her 2 cents. But man, I feel like if I'm in a meeting and the meeting is pertaining to me, that we should listen to me. At least hear me out. Even if it was already something, hey, we already talked about that. We're going to do this, this, and this. This is what our consensus was. But hey, here's my 2 cents. Because what I found is not all the time and not none of the time. So I don't know what that percentage is, but somewhere between 0 and 100, we've landed at, if I review or check something, I've been able to sort it out. Remember when we couldn't get my merch, there's no way to get it? What we do? We went and got my goddamn merch.
Which time? You talking about when?
Each time. When we couldn't get the delivery and it was sent to a place that was closed after hours and then we walked in that bitch and got it?
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
What about when we couldn't get the thing from and then I'm like, man, come on, we go, and then the dude comes to the show, brings the lens, and we get it done.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So what about when, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I gotta fly, there's no way I can make it back for the thing I need to be back in Seattle for because the original flight that I missed because I set my alarm for PM and not AM on accident. Fuck, I hate when that happens.
Yep.
And missed my original flight. I woke up like, why the fuck hasn't my alarm gone off yet? And I hadn't missed it yet, but it was like, if I'm gonna catch this, I'm gonna have to super scramble because I was already packed and everything. Versus just, let me just look at another one and relax. And so people that don't travel a lot, here's the thing that you may want to know. If you have a round trip record locator or round trip itinerary, if you miss the first leg of your flight, they cancel the entire record locator unless you tell the airline, hey, I'm gonna get there another way. Keep my return information the same. So your whole trip be blew up, and you sat at the airport ready to leave at your original time. And they're like, we already gave your seat away. We already sold. You need to figure out how to get home, right? And so that's essentially what happened. And so there was no way for me to get back in time. Well, before I got out the van, and I could have just taken that as for face value, I just hopped on Google Flights and was like, Seattle, or from Mobile to Seattle tomorrow, boom, and voila, same flight as most of us. I'm on there. And here's the thing. I'm not saying there was an error on Heath's behalf because it was the one seat that was left on the plane. I tried to fly coach, like I know it's going to cost an arm and leg, and it had to be a first class seat. Mm-hmm. It was the only seat on the plane, which means somebody like had changed something and the seat became available after he'd already looked. Because when he looked, it wasn't even an option to buy.
Right.
So when I looked, somebody was like, let me just switch my ticket real quick, and then when I get home, I'll do it. And in that time, I'm the one that they got home, opened their laptop, and was like, fuck, it was one seat. It's gone. I'm on that bitch. Right? But so, and I'm not saying my team can't get a thing right without me reviewing it. But what I am saying is greater minds prevail. 2 brains better than 1. Like, let's inspect what we expect. And there's been time after time after time after time that that was right or that it was worth looking at. There's also been times where I've looked and it is exactly what it was. And I'm like, good job. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if I'm contributing to a meeting that is about me, that is for me, that essentially I'm paying for everybody's participation and attendance in, I should be able to get a goddamn thought out or be heard. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. Maybe I'm tripping. And I'll leave room for error the same way they do when you vote. They say it's plus or minus 3% for error. I'll leave that. But that's what's grinding my gears. Also, these things I just said are not all one person or one specific thing I'm pointing at. Like the argument conversation, entirely different from anything that has anything to do with Keela. The meeting with Keela, that had to do with Keela. But yeah, let's move on. So I want to tell you guys my upcoming shows real quick, and then I got some more stuff I want to talk to you guys about. It's a lot of stuff popping off right now. In like the most amazing way. So I have upcoming shows, and I need you guys to pay attention because for some reason, a lot of people are asking me when I'm going to be in their city, and I either was just recently there or am going to be there soon, or I just went last year. Like, they're not looking at the schedule, which, that's lazy and that's a choice, but like it's too many right now. So I want to say the shows, so if you hear one near you, close to you, or where you got some family or friends, you can tell them come on out. So we just left Birmingham, Alabama, and Mobile, Alabama, which I'll talk about in a second. Up next, this is a 3-show weekend, 3-city weekend. We got Des Moines, Iowa, Chicago, Illinois, and Madison, Wisconsin. That's the 8th, 9th, and 10th of November. November 15th is Santa Rosa, California. November 16th is Fresno, California. We sold that out. We had to add a second show. November 22nd, Louisville, Kentucky. November 23rd, Indianapolis, Indiana. Low ticket alert for both of those. December 6th, Kansas City, Missouri. Low ticket alert for Kansas City. December 7th, Omaha, Nebraska. December 20th through 22nd, Ontario Improv. Low ticket alert. There was 5 shows on sale, 3 already sold out. I added an extra one. The 2 before I added were already crazy sold. If you go on their website, they have when you go look at the tickets, it says on sale. It says low tickets or it says almost sold out, or it just says sold out. From now until like March of 2025, I'm the only act that says almost sold out out of everybody coming to the club. That's how hot things are right now. And if you want to see me in Southern California, that's it. If you're in LA, you're in Hollywood, you're going to have to get your ass on that road and drive the 42 minutes out to the IE. It's going down. That's my home. That's the club where I started Super Funny. A lot of people don't know that. Super Funny comedy show started at the Ontario Improv. And so it's a stage I'm extremely comfortable with. I love the club. I love Ontario. I love Ontario Mills. I love that whole area of Rancho and Redlands and Rialto. Like, I fought with the IE. So I'm coming back, and we are definitely on a low ticket alert. It's the last shows of the year. Well, the last show of the year is New Year's Eve, but I think that's the first show of the next year. So the last show of the year are these, and I'm going to go all out. That's 1. And 2, I'm not doing 12, 15 shows. What you see online, these 6, I might add a 7th, but that's it. I'm not about to be down there on Friday at 4 p.m. and Saturday at 2 p.m. And this isn't 2023. Come on down, enjoy the show, get these last tickets that remain, and pull up. The cool thing about comedy clubs, it's actually really cool, is that they aren't assigned seating. So if you bought 2 tickets a month ago and 2 more homies want to go, you buy those 2 tickets today, the 4 of y'all sit together. Theaters aren't like that. If I buy tickets a month ago and you buy tickets today, I'll see you in the lobby, bro, because I'm assigned seating. So comedy clubs aren't assigned, they're by section. So that's cool. So if you're already going, tell your friends, bring their ass. Don't wait till the last minute. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be sold out. By the time we get to, what's today?
Today's
November 4th?
Yeah, it's the 4th.
Yeah, these shows are going to be a wrap by, I mean, even if I'm conservative, by November 20th, they're gone. Like they're not about to be, there's not going to be tickets a month out. That's a wrap. There's no way. So those are the shows I got coming up. And then what I want to talk about is Mobile, Alabama. The other thing I want to say is shout out to the people that have been listening to the show. There's a lot of people that are coming up and saying stuff that I've said from the show. I love that. Like that's really, you guys rock. This takes a lot of effort on my behalf, on Trenton's behalf, just to get it done, get it out, get it up. And so it's to me, this is one of the things I'm more proud of of the content that I'm creating, because I get to be, it's just me talking to you. You can hear me in your truck, in your car, in your shower, and whatever. But it's where I can get my opinion off. I don't gotta. It's not crowd work. This is just me talking. This is how I feel. So I like this. We did Birmingham, Alabama, and Mobile, Alabama. My mother's side of the family is all from Mobile, Alabama. So literally the class of Blount High School, class of 63 was in the building. 30 people from my mom's graduating high school class pulled up to the show, and probably another 10 to 12 of cousins that I either have not met or met back when I was like 14 or 8 years old in the two family reunions that I went to. So it was cool, seeing people that have known my mom her whole life appreciate me, appreciate the show, have had a great time, to do meet and greet and see a bunch of people with my nose. You know what I'm saying? With my nose and facial features, I'm like, oh, that's definitely a cousin. That's a cousin. It was just dope. So, it was really cool. And I hope we can put together a family reunion or something of some sorts, because it doesn't make any sense for me to travel the country and be bumping into brand new people that we ken my whole life. But I wanted to say this. The South is really, like, it's really a motherfucker, man. Like, it does a lot to your psyche when you go in a place and see colored only doors still. And I toggle back and forth with whether or not places should keep that kind of shit for like historical preservation, or if it's like, why not just have a picture of it and we move on from the shit? Like, but I think historical preservation is the way we got to lean, because here I am talking about it. You know what I'm saying? We went to Birmingham and a theater, and these theaters are old as shit. All the comedy clubs be new. The theaters be 1929, 1940, like before the military was integrated and shit. So I know blacks weren't allowed. And the two theaters we did this weekend, unequivocally, colors only doors. Blacks were only allowed in the balcony for years in this place. My family, when my uncle who grew up in Mobile, he heard I was doing the Sanger Theater in Mobile, he was like, you gonna be at the Sanger? Like, it didn't matter what I did. I did Wild 'N Out. I did Young Rock. I'm a network actor. I've traveled the world. I've like all of those things and accolades and things that are like, usually somebody's like, no, he's doing it. You doing the Sanger Theater? What? My nephew, his career going well enough, they gonna let him perform at the Sanger? Even though it's integrated now, even though blacks can sit wherever, even though you can use whatever entrance you want, and it's completely integrated now. They have black staff. They have like it's up to date now. But the little boy and my uncle that got told, get your black ass from down here. Niggas is upstairs only. Oh, nigga, I know you're not trying to come in this door. Fuck out the way. This is a whites only door. Colors go round the back. The little boy in him that had that Jim Crow ass experience at that same theater was mind blown that his nephew is about to be talent at that same place. And it's one of those things where you can do it and you just do a show there and you move on, and it's nonchalant and it means nothing to you if you don't pay attention to the details. But I'm detail oriented, and that was like I made a point to talk about it in the show, because he was like, that's tall cotton. That's slave mentality. The whole concept of tall cotton is there's cotton out there. We all got to go pick it. But the taller the cotton, the less you got to bend over, the less your back hurts. The easier it is, the easier a day it is. So he's like, that's tall cotton, boy. Woo! Like, you doing good. Like, how slave-minded do you got to be to, you still a slave? Give a fuck what height the cotton is? You're still enslaved. And we got to free up our minds because it's 2024. The fact that Jim Crow was when my uncle was a little boy and as a grown-ass, retired fireman, retired, like he's full-on in retirement, and he's still like, you at the Sanga? Was nuts to me. And so we did that, and we went and we saw the colors only door, and then there was a colors only entrance at my hotel. And there was like, I was convinced there was places that we could go find and stand in this building that ain't no black people been. It would have been downstairs for sure, but there was places that ain't no black people been. You going to the Sanga is crazy. And every time we go to the South, I feel like we walk with our heads a little bit higher and our chest poked out a little bit more because we're West Coast raised and we didn't have enslavement a part of our, we're not indoctrinated with that. So, and I feel that. Like when I've been to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, some parts of Texas, like I feel like people can tell we ain't from there.
Yeah. I always walk around after everything gets set up, after the sound check. I always like walk around the block, maybe go to the convenience store in whatever city we're in, and I've definitely have looked black people in the eye because I've always been told since I was little, if you see another black person walking by, you should always acknowledge them. But I could always tell when black people like look at me, they could just tell like you ain't around. You
ain't from here. We went to that Waffle House. Everybody just off of your order, you could like the energy shifted. We first came in, it was just two brothers that was coming in to eat. But you're like, she's like, do you want hash browns or grits? Well, it depends on how do you guys prepare your hash browns? Like a regular question you would ask or whatever you said. But I seen people out of the corner of my eye be like, the fuck? Like they look down like, them niggas ain't from here. Like they could just tell.
Yeah.
What you mean, how is it gonna be made? Nigga, we eat it how the fuck we eat? You know what I'm saying? You got questions, nigga? And you can hear our voice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you got questions, nigga? Like that's the way they looked, you know what I'm saying? I've been places and there was like really old white people that looked at me like I was out of place. I'll never forget. I went to Hall's Chop House, Columbia, South Carolina. Had a college gig. It's the number 4 restaurant in the country, right? Obviously, it's integrated. They're obviously okay with the kitchen is diverse. The waitresses are diverse. The hostesses are diverse. It's not one of the places where you walk in and it's only Mexicans in the back, black people are cleaning, and white people serving. No, everybody was in every position. They were up on their shit. But the guests sitting there, when I was sitting there at the bar, were looking at me like, who the fuck? This lady was like, what NFL team you play for? I'm sorry, what? Like this food costs that much that I gotta be in the NFL to eat it? Why can't what if I just saved? What if I worked at a car wash and saved all my tips because I want to eat at the number 4 restaurant? Like, fuck you and your judgment for you even asking me that. You know what I'm saying? But I overcompensated. Because they were judging me like that, I ordered no bullshit. I ordered enough food that when my mom saw my bank statement, this is back when she was like reviewing finances, she was like, who spends $723 at a restaurant?
Damn.
I think it was $451 on the bill.
This was before 2023?
This was from a college gig. Like, she's like, I need you to explain, is everything okay? Like, my mom checked on me, like, were you all right? And I'm like, let me explain. So I explained how there was like a couple from like Rhode Island or somewhere, and the lady was hella judging me. And I'll be honest, I was a little out of place. Like, this place was reserved for like 4 months. The only way to eat at it is they opened at 5 and you need to be outside in line at like by 4:15 to then go inside and get one of the 16 seats at the bar. That was the only way to get in to sit at fine dining. And that's a trick. If you want to go fine dining, you don't got a reservation, go to the bar. You may have to wait for somebody to cycle out, but that's where you can walk up and sit down. Anyway, so I go in and sit down, and the lady's looking at me hella crazy. And I'm like, how you doing? She's like, how you doing? You from around here? What NFL team you play for? I didn't even get to say you from around here yet. She already hit me with that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's a crazy line of questions, lady. And then right when that happened, she's like, whatever. Like, she was indignant. Then the bartender comes up, hey, what can I get you? Right? And I'm like, what's the most incredible cut of meat that you have today? Like, I understand that some weeks your ribeyes are crazy. Another week, a different cut is crazy. He's like, nothing compares to our tomahawks. At any season, at any time, we got the best tomahawks. Now, here's the thing. Usually, you got to call ahead because it takes an hour and some change to make a tomahawk. He's like, but somebody ordered a tomahawk and then had to change their reservation to later. So we have one that's going to be ready in about 30 minutes if you'd like it. And I was like, yeah, but what's a tomahawk? What is it? He's like, oh, it looks like that. And they showed the uncooked ones that were ready to go. And I mean, this place didn't fuck around. This was number 4, and this is the number 4 restaurant in America. The tomahawk looked like a goddamn guitar. It looked like a real tomahawk, an axe with meat on it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, whoa, yeah, let me get that. And I looked at her like, bitch, like, you know what I'm saying? Jack, like, I can't eat up in this motherfucker. He's like,
brought the dude out with the Salt Bay.
That was a Salt Bay, that ass. So there's a way when you fine dine that you're supposed to eat. Most people don't know. If you don't know how to use the silverware, work your way from the outside in. So if there's 9 forks, 9 spoons, you just grab from the outside because each course is going to correlate with the type of silverware for it. So by the time you get to steak, you should have a steak knife and a thicker fork by the time you get to that. Bare minimum, when you're done eating something, you take the knife and the fork, you cross them on the plate, and then you can set back. They won't ask you if you still want any. They know that's the sign for he's finished. If you want more to drink, put your glass towards the edge of the table. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to be like, dang, they ain't giving us no refills. You just move your glass to the edge of the table. And at fine dining, these are certain things they're looking for. It's a way for the diner to communicate to the person that they want thing. If you're ready to order, put the menu down. They're not going to come ask you if you're ready to order if you're still reviewing and looking at the menu. When you're done, if you want service fast, you put the menu down. If there's 5 of you and somebody's still holding the menu, you're like, fam, just put the menu down. You can look at it over it, but put it down. As long as it's up, they're not coming. Right. Unless they're for something like rushing or, you know what I mean? They will not put your bill on the table while you're still at the table eating like that. Unless you're coming up on the end of a shift, right? All of that, hey, we just want to give you this, no rush, we're about to get at it. That's not fine dining. That's somebody that's like, let's make sure they pay us so they don't run out on a bill. That's the underlying message to that, okay? If you're a left-handed person, if you're in America, knife left hand, fork right hand, you cut your food, then you put your knife at and you can actually switch hands. Just switch in your hands. If you're on the other side of the pond, and you're in Europe, your fork should be face down. So here we scoop everything up. There they poke everything down, right? And they set the knife at the top of the tray. Then they move the fork to the other hand. Then they grab the knife, and then they'll point down, and then they'll cut, and then they put the knife back. Then they put the fork back. Then they pick the knife back up, and then they'll put it onto the fork and guide it around and eat it. So whole process, elbows on the table, never.
You went through this training?
I've done enough fine dining or eaten in environments where I needed to not be a Neanderthal that I did it. Now, I'm saying all this to say at Hall's Chop House, the bitch talking to me had both her elbows on the table and was slamming her fucking fork through the meat like she was a goddamn fucking orphan refugee. I'm like, and that's no disrespect to orphan refugees. That's how bad her shit was. Now, I never had a tomahawk before, and I know that there's different ways to eat certain steaks, right? So I stepped outside, like, hey, I'm just gonna step outside while that's being prepared. I'll be right back. I went outside, put into YouTube how to properly eat a tomahawk steak, okay? Glad I did. Because what I would have done is it sat down, I would have started on the outside and got me a piece and then had a bite of it and kept going. No, the tomahawk sits down on the table. The chef waits right in front of you with a flashlight, a small flashlight, unless the place is lit well, but a small flashlight. They want you to set it on its side, if it's not already on its side. It should not come already diced up, sliced up, or cut. You lay it on its side. You put your knife all the way to the bone in the middle of the tomahawk, and then you cut all the way down, like straight across the meat. Take your fork and your knife, you hold it open, and you look at where you cut to see if the meat is what you requested on its preparedness. Well done, medium plus, medium, whatever you want. You say, perfect, or this is fantastic. This is a wonderful medium plus. This is a wonderful, whatever you requested. You say this is a wonderful whatever. Then you eat. So for a tomahawk, you're going to eat and you're going to eat as much meat or whatever that you want. When you're done, you then run the knife along the bone and you cut all the extra meat you didn't get to off of the bone. You pick the bone up with your hands and you eat it like a chicken leg.
Really?
Fine dining, you get to pick up the bone like a caveman. I did exactly that. When I picked that bone up, the lady's scoffing next to me. Who picks up a bone? Who eats off the bone in a fine dining establishment? It was nuts. Chef comes out. Literally, he's not even to me yet. Finally, somebody who knows how to eat a fucking tomahawk. The lady's taken aback, right? Like, what? I ate my fill. He was like, we put tomahawks in front of people all the time. They don't know why we're waiting. They don't know why we have a flashlight. They don't know. They think it's disrespectful to cut all the way across the steak. They fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like they go, hey, I'm finished. Bag it up. And when we bag it, they want the meat still on the bone. No, you cut it off the bone like you're supposed to. You pick it up like, who are you? So I'm a comedian. I'm traveling and I'm in the area. He was like, okay. He was like, have you had any other fine dining experiences? I said, actually I have. I had number 7 before. I had the Drifter's Wife in Portland, Maine. I looked up best restaurant in this area and it gave me here. And I was like, and I have to be honest with you. The Drifter's Wife was number 7 and this was amazing. Every bite of everything was wonderful. And he was like, it better be. And I was like, oh, cocky, huh? He was like, we're number 4. And I was like, talk your shit. This is number 4? And that's how I found out they were number 4. Yeah. He's like, yeah. Mind you, the lady's just like sitting, like he's wearing full chef regalia. She's like, chef, I really enjoyed it. He's like, ma'am, I'm talking to him. He literally checked her to finish talking to me. And then he's like, I want to do something special for you. He said, what dessert are you having? I said, well, I have a bread pudding. He's like, we'll do that. It was like a 6-layer bread pudding. He's like, we're going to have the bread pudding. He's like, but also, I'm going to bring something else out. So he goes to the kitchen and comes back with, it's not on the menu. I don't know what it is. It's a piece of cake, but the decorations on it, the coverings, everything that's a part of it is a different taste than the color of it. The chocolate tastes like vanilla. The strawberry tastes like chocolate. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Something else tastes carrot. It was like a carrot cake, but it was like and it was just insane to eat it. And like, because you bite a piece of chocolate expecting chocolate taste. I'm like, that's not, what is that? He's like, what is it? I'm like, is that vanilla? He's like, yep. Try the carrot. Is that chocolate? It is. I'm like, what is this? You know, he's like, yeah, it's just a little something I got. I'm working on. We'll put it out soon. This lady's like, is there any more pieces of that? Like, ma'am, please. It was that bad.
This is in Portland, Maine?
No. So this is Hall's Chop House, and I think it's in Charleston, North Carolina. Portland, Maine is where the Drifter's Wife.
Okay, because
the Drifter's Wife is not open anymore.
Yeah, because I literally found an old clip, because there's a bunch of old clips that you have that I like to just find, like, oh, shoot,
I think I vlogged it. Did I vlog it?
No. It was when you were at the Cleveland Improv, you were talking to this lady, and then you were like, oh, you're from Maine. She was like, how'd you know I'm from Maine? And you were like, you're wearing a sweatshirt that said you're from Maine, lady.
I'm from Maine.
Because I watched it today.
Okay.
And you mentioned the Drifter's Wife. So I watched it today, and then you mentioned it.
Yeah, and so the way I found out about the Drifter's Wife, I was on stage at this university or college that was like for like, it's crazy. Like they have so many specificities of colleges, but this particular college was for people who wanted to be park rangers. Mm. Right? And I mean it.
I didn't even know that it had their own college.
I showed up and everybody was like the kid that you might see hiking by themselves. Like, what are you doing out here? Like it was a school of that. A couple kids had Labrador retrievers with them in class, like at the show. Like I met a Labrador, beautiful golden retriever named Lucy. She's like the mascot for the whole place. But anyway, so I was like, man, what is there good to eat? I'm going to Portland, Maine tomorrow. And this young girl came up to me. She was like smaller, real thin, and blonde. She was like, oh my God, you got to go to the Drifter's Wife. And I'm like, what is that? She tells me it's the number 7 restaurant in the country. It's amazing. I'll see if I can get you a reservation. They're booked out like 9 months. And I was like, who are you going to call? You're a kid in a school. She was like, well, no, my dad owns a world famous oyster bar that's across the street. So what you're supposed to do, and this is what the whole town does, you go to the Drifter's Wife, you check in for your reservation much earlier than your shit, then you go over to the oyster bar, knock back some oysters and stuff, and then when you get your little in your pocket, then it's time to come over to Drifter's Wife and start that process.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, I'm going to tell my dad, da. So when I got down to the Drifter's Wife, I waited in line. I was number 8 in line. And then we went in and I sat at the bar. And then the dude came out. I want to say his name was Jason. I could be wrong. But he comes out. He had brown hair, glasses. His hair was kind of, he was, the chef was not there. No, excuse me. The front of house wasn't there. So the chef was doing it. And so I came in looking for, I'm like, I'm supposed to meet the chef, or I'm supposed to meet the. He was like, it's me. I'm like, what are you doing out here? He's like, we gotta take breaks. And we talked for a minute, and then it was like some type of reduction, which is that's a fancy way to say a sauce, but it was almost like a gravy sauce, but it was crazy light, and it was on like a bed of like, it wasn't spinach, but it was like, it looked like spinach, but it didn't have that tartness to it. And it was like a sweet green almost. I still don't know what vegetable it was. It may have been bok choy or something crazy.
Love bok choy.
With that sauce on there, a thick, not thick, but it was like they made a chunky mashed potatoes and then a creamy mashed potatoes and then mixed them. And that was on there, but it was 2 different kinds of potatoes. So like the chunky one was like yams and purples mixed in with normal like a yellow buttery kind. So you look at it and you get like this buttery looking mashed potato with a creamy with chunky. It was insane. Then there was a quarter of either chicken or duck, and I still don't know what it is, but it was immaculate. That was a Drifter's Wife. And so that's what set me on a path to be like, I want to eat at whatever. Like I wanted to eat at number 1 when I was in New York, but I think it's called French Laundry. And they don't fuck around. It's like a 3-year reservation. Like people have reservations and they fly in from like Korea to eat at this kind of shit. But anyway, so I say that to say the South feels like that experience. That whole thing of like, you don't belong over here. Who the fuck what kind of black do you think you are? Kind of. And then when you walk in and you see signs that they really just reaffirm, like, yeah, I did feel that energy. This is a coloreds only entrance? Fuck.
Keela just texted me that they parked, but damn, I was wanting to see if you wanted to update the people about your song real quick.
That's all I wanted to do. And then I'll be done. But so, I mean, you can let them in.
Yeah.
But am I connected to the Bluetooth? Because that's all I need to show you guys. So I talked about the song that I made, and I wanted to see if I could get Twista or Ludacris on my song, and I would like to play you.
Did you see it?
The Rodecaster. Maybe there's another one. I see Osmo Pocket and Rodecaster Pro 2. So I'm connected right now. There. So here's the feature that I was able to get. Okay. And I'll just start it right before that part. Hope you guys like it. I don't hear anything. Do you?
I do. Your headphones are to the right.
Okay. Here goes. My headphones are down. When I pull up in the driveway, you know what time it is. Beat it up, beat it up, beat it up. Y'all heard this part before, but you ain't heard this feature. Here it is. World premiere.
In the back on the leather, sex in the Cadillac, I feel like that's an endeavor. Graphic as ever, the way that your booty cheeks moving, be clapping together.
What?
Steady with the eyes, I'ma get the prize. I'ma be the one that's finna pull the pennies to the side. Spaghetti till I get up in the thigh. She better be a woman and be ready when I rise. Speak to that when I peep that. Keep that when I meet that. Eat that when I sleep with that. Sweet sex with the reflex. Beat that to some keep sweat. How deep is your love? Cause you was the baddest freak in the club. I got you in the missionary position, reaching under, holding your cheeks from above. I'm on top of you, popping you. Show her la mama what I can do. She can suck a dick and swallow you. Call her play and throw that ass like an audible. We can get it whether we make it good love. We can be freaks and have good sex. Put my hands around your neck. Put your hands around my neck.
Let's go.
Love wanna stop you cross the ass. Let me see you touch me like you fast. Let me see you love me like you bad. Let me see you fuck me like you mad. I'ma be the way that she. And when then she.
Who is that?
Twister.
That's all I'm giving you. Don't doubt me. Don't doubt the kid. We making good everything around here. The Midas touch. Twister is on my fucking new song. And he's not bullshitting. That's an A+ Twister verse. Ooh. Look for it. Beat it up. Nate Jackson featuring Twister is coming out soon. Everywhere you listen to your music. That's today's episode of Opinionated. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Share it with a friend. This will be all over. This is going to be, this will be wherever you get your podcasts at very soon. Love y'all.